Hi everyone, Sarah back again today, and I am playing with Color Rush Studios Sweater Weather Kit. Again, I'm doing a guest design spot for them this month, and I had a blast with this. I actually pulled a piece of paper from the Bold and Basic 1 collection, I believe is what that plaid is right there. I like having a black and white in a kit. I think it adds a lot to it. I know this technically wasn't in the kit, but it is in the stuff that they had sent me. And I thought I would use it as a layer behind the photos. And here I had pulled out the sweater weather kit and decided I wanted to use the acorns as well behind my photo. And then I'm like, I'll use the other side too. I am scrapbooking a picture of my dad and his dog from 13 years ago. Well, this Christmas Eve will be 13 years. This is his pup, and he's still alive too. He's a great dog. Loves my kids. He's awesome. But you see to the right there a bunch of leaves cut out, which I did before this video so that I could kind of spare you from having to watch me do that. It's kind of repetitive and not something, that's really fun to watch. So I went ahead and did that previous. I cut a larger portion of that plaid paper out because I wanted it to be a further back layer instead of right behind the photo like I had thought previously. And I also thought I was going to use that paper that is on the very back. I do not end up using that on this layout. I'm going to head and add my layers, rough up my edges there. This is kind of, just be careful when you do this because yes, I have hurt myself before doing this. I cut under my fingernail, paper cut. Not a fun place to have a paper cut, but yet I still do this. And I have my little edge distressor sitting right here on my desk and I still do it. Here I'm adding some 3D foam behind my photo just to add a little bit of dimension so that I have room to slide things underneath. I like to layer. I want to make sure that there's room. That's a piece I had cut out previously before I sat one night and did a lot of fussy cutting and cut a bunch of that stuff out of the paper. And here I was trying to go ahead and add the stuff behind my photo and I wasn't liking the way it looked. And then I remembered I had this off to the side. I did a layout a while back where I had used a stencil on the layout and I had used my pouncer over the top of it. And instead of just wasting all of that, what I do is I grab a sheet of paper, I spray the stencil down, and then I press the paper over the top of it and set it aside and let it dry, and eventually I'll use it. So I had reached for that and I decided to use that for my background. And I like the way the leaves and stuff look on this a little bit better. The orange just was too much. You didn't really see the leaves and stuff as much. And so I have this. That's, let's see if I can remember what color that distressed oxide is in the background. I think that's fossilized amber that I had used on the previous layout. But it works really well with this. So I added some leaves at the top right and the lower left, and then I decided I was going to use that that strip up there at the top. It was a branding strip from another paper in the kit. And I thought I would use that up top. And you see I'm like tucking the acorn over there on the left. I had pulled out the little labels that I had fussy cut out. And here I'm going ahead and going to put the little beanie up there because these were fall pictures. They were out there raking up the leaves and hanging out in the yard. So I thought the little beanie would be cute. And I am gluing the leaves to the photo and its mats instead of to the background because I wasn't sure what else I wanted to do to this at this point. So I thought this way would be the best way to keep me being able to do stuff to the layout, move it around and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing at the bottom. I don't end up keeping all three of those little labels down at the bottom, but I thought they looked cute. Like I said, that's another piece I had fussy cut out previous and then punched on the side with my, to me it looks like notebook paper. It's like a notebook paper punch. So I'm going to go ahead and add those on in, scuff up the edge of the acorn and add it down behind. And then I'm going to go ahead and rough all this stuff up and start adding it at the top as well. If you see, my page was still kind of bowed because I didn't really lay it flat or have anything on it before. So I had stuck that little piece of mint tape up at the left-hand side to kind of hold it down a little bit while I was trying to make the layout and make those things up there at the top stay. But it worked, and it didn't mess up the page, so it's all good. I had went and put that little one up there. It says Cozy Season. Move things around a little bit and still trying to figure out what else I want to add in here. I pulled the Simple Stories, those things. Isn't it awesome when you're trying to do a voiceover and you cannot for the life of yourself remember what it's called, and then after you're done you're like, how could I not remember that? I know they're foam thickers. I added that crisp air down there as my title, and that wow, seriously, today brain's not working. That cork piece with the pumpkin on it and the other fussy cut pumpkin that I had stuck right behind that. I thought I was done at this point, and that's why I had adhered that down. It's not going to stay that way, just so you know now. But I'm going to go ahead and rough that little piece up with the pumpkin and try to figure out where I want to stick it. But I decided I wanted that one right underneath, because this way I could get that cute little pumpkin that was in the foam thickers and sit it right there underneath crisp air as well. And I thought that just kind of worked, and it was cute. So I stuck that down and had that little label and stuck it down there, and decided to pull some more of the cute little foam stickers off that thicker sheet and see how they would work, what they would look like down there. And so I decided I'm going to use them. So I glued that down, and I actually move and rearrange the leaves that are on there, and just add an extra one. Actually change the color of another one and add that there. Then I'll stick a couple, one up top, and then I think I stick one down to the left, and I add more glue. Man, seriously, I can't believe I did some of this stuff. I add that leaf there. Understand, I'm using, on this layout, I'm using Scotch Quick Dry. So you know that if you've used it before, you know that stuff dries fast. It doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room. And I decided to trim it all down because I wanted something to go behind this. I wanted a border on it. So I had went ahead and I trimmed this down. All that's still glued down. I have not moved any of it. I added more glue actually. And yes, I kick myself for it. It wasn't too big of a hassle when I do change it, but you'll see in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cut the center off of this one, out of this one. So that I can use this as a border on my layout here in just a second. And for some reason, apparently, I can't even cut. I'm doing the voiceover the same day I did this layout. So if you're listening to me and understanding that my brain is not working and I'm not connecting words today for some reason, which I seem to do a lot when I do voiceovers. Anyways, yeah, that's just... the same thing happened here. I didn't cut even on the square that I cut out of the background or anything, but it's okay. I still end up liking the way it turns out. I have more of a border on the sides than I do on the top and bottom, and I like the way it looks. So I'm going ahead and pulling that adhesive off here, and I will stick my layout down to it in just a second. There it goes. And I get it stuck, and so I have to, pull it up and place it back again. I'm being really precise, and I noticed when I was doing it that the sides were not even, and I was okay with it. I still liked the way it looked, so it's okay. And here is where I had decided that I didn't want this on here like this. I wanted something different behind the photo. I actually have chipboard from a order I had received from a cherry on top. It was in there to stop things from sliding around, and I thought that it would be perfect. Rip that layer off and add it to a layout for some texture. I think that it looks great. I used corrugated paper a while back on another layout, and I liked the way it looked. I like the texture it adds, so I figured it'll cover up the spot that I ripped off, add some more glue, and go ahead and stick everything back down. And you can never tell that I had ripped all of that up before. So I think it still turns out great. I like how it ended up looking. I like the little bit of the darker color out behind the photo. I'm going to add some glue to the behind the crisp and put the cap back on that. And that pretty much, I think, almost finishes out my layout. I thought I was going to add more glue. I don't. I really, at this point, don't think it really needs it. But yeah, that finishes my layout. I did have fun with this. I did get aggravated at myself. Hopefully I'm not the only one that has days like this, but I really appreciate you checking out my layout and my process. Make sure to check out Color Rush Studios, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.